look at example number 2. Example number 2. We have Noah. Noah has applied for a simple interest car loan with an interest rate of 9% per annum. Alright, so that's something that we need to know about, so I'd circle that one. He was told the simple interest would be $6,300 or $6,300 over a time period of 3.5 years. What was the principal? So we've got little things to think about here. So we have our interest. Alright, we have the interest. We have our interest rate. Sorry, this is the interest rate. This is the actual interest. Alright, and this is our time period, so number of time period. So we've identified our interest rate. We've identified the amount of interest. We've identified the number of time periods. We're going to use that first formula we found. I equals PRN. So we've identified in this that we've got the actual interest, so we know what I is, we know what R is, we know what N is. But when we don't know, P. Now I find it so much easier to rearrange that while I've got the letters, when I'm not dealing with numbers, and then putting the numbers in afterwards. That's what I find really easy. Some people prefer to put the numbers in now, and then rearrange. I'm going to do it the way that I find really easy. If you want to do it the other way, that's entirely up to you guys. Okay? So I'm going to say I need to get P on its own. The algebra that's happening here is that P is getting multiplied by R and N. What's the opposite of multiply? Divide. Opposite of multiply is divide. So we're going to use our opposite operations. I'm going to divide both sides by Rn. Alright, and that's going to leave me with I over Rn equals P. Alright, and you can leave it like that if you'd like. You can switch them around, it doesn't really matter. All that equal sign is saying is that this has the same value as that. Okay? That's all that's saying. So we can switch that around to make it P equals I over Rn. And then we can substitute in our numbers. So it makes it a little bit easier to work with. Does that make sense? So I find it easier to do it this way. You can chuck in the numbers first if you'd like, but you've got to make sure that you eventually have P on its own. Okay? So what was the actual interest from our question? $6,300. Alright, the interest rate is 9%. What was that as a decimal? 0.09. Times the number of time periods, which is 3.5. And then you just type that into your calculator, and who can give me an answer? Because hopefully you've got a calculator in front of you. And what are we going to get?
20,000.
What was it, Matt? 20,000? So that was our principal amount, is 20,000. Okay? And that's that question done. Example 3 is a little bit different to the other two. We're still going to use similar bits and pieces of information, but we're actually going to do an extra step. Okay? We're going to do a couple of extra steps actually. So we've got Jessica. Jessica's buying a lounge suite. She's definitely not gone to Fantastic Furniture. She's definitely gone somewhere a little bit more upmarket. She's chosen one that costs $2,750. $2,750. So it's going to be a pretty nice couch.
Going to IKEA.
She chooses to buy it on terms, right? So terms is you've gone in, you don't have the money straight away, but you have enough for a deposit. So she's going to pay a 10% deposit, and you basically loan the money from whoever usually a finance company through the store, to actually get the balance. Alright? Interest is 11.5% per annum. Now these things when you're buying on terms, usually they are fairly high interest rates, and quite often you'll actually have an interest-free period. For example, my very first place, when I first moved out of home, I got my stuff at Fantastic. I got a whole house full of furniture, and I got it on 6 months interest-free. The trick there is to make sure you pay it off within the interest-free period, or you have to pay interest on the whole amount. Alright, so make sure that if you ever do that, pay it off within that interest-free time. 11.5% per annum on the amount borrowed, making payments over 3 years, fortnightly payments over 3 years. So this is going to be a little bit of calculating to do. So, first of all, our original amount, we need to know that we're going to have $2,750 worth of cash. We're paying a deposit of 10%. That's also really important information, because that's actually going to get taken out of the amount borrowed. So the P part of our formulas will be this minus the 10% deposit. Because she's not going to borrow that whole thing. She's only going to borrow 90% of it. We've got interest at 11.5%. Interest at 11.5%. And fortnightly payments over 3 years. So they're also really important information. Okay? So, first things first. We need to know what the deposit is. Alright? Just need to know what the deposit is. Well, we don't really need to know what the deposit is. We know it's 10%. What's 100% minus 10%? 90%. So she's going to borrow 90% of the total, isn't she? Does that make sense? So if we find out 90%, we're actually finding out that principal. So that's what I'm going to do. That's going to be my first step. I'm going to find out how much I'm going to borrow. That's 90% of the total. So what is 90% of the total? You can just type that straight into your calculator. 90% times 2,750.
243? Oh no, I did wrong. Sorry.
2,475.
2,475. So there's our P. P equals 2,475. Alright? That's a little bit less than before, isn't it? So Jessica has paid a deposit off. She now has $2,475 to borrow. So let's work out the interest. So that's our first formula, isn't it, Anthony? The first formula.
We don't know.
So I equals PRA. Because we want to know the interest, we don't have to manipulate the formula at all. We know the principal now is this one, because that's what we just worked out. But she's not borrowing the total, she's only borrowing 90%. So 2,475 times our interest rate. What was our interest rate? It's 11.5%. What's 11.5% as a decimal? .115 times that by the number of time periods. Now, this is the interesting bit, because in this part, we're just going over the 3 years. We're going to break it up a little bit later. So, time periods is 3 years. Alright, anyone got a question on that one so far?
Yeah.
So now you just got to do that line in the calculator. And what do we get?
Is that the answer then?
That'll be the amount of interest total. What do we got? Yep, 853.
I was right.
That's it done.
And
No, I got the answer from there.
what was it? 875, which goes to 8, because 2 decimal places because we're money. Right, dealing with money, 2 decimal places. So always make sure that you round it off. Right, remember how we round off. If it's 5 or above, we go up 1. 4 or below, we go down. Stay the same. Okay. We now know the interest. We now know the interest. We also need the total to be repaid. So we need A equals P plus I. A equals P plus I, because that's the total amount to be repaid. So it's going to be our new principal. And the new principal, so 2,475 plus the interest, so the 853.88. Alright, what's that going to be, guys?
3,328.
So what was it? 3,000?
328.88.
Alright, so that's the total amount to be repaid.
Is that dollars?
That's in dollars. Probably put a dollar sign on there, shouldn't we? Alright, so now what is the question? Because we haven't quite gotten there yet. Because what was the question asking us, guys?
Look at that.
Wait, you didn't have halfway in your
What were the fortnightly payments?
So the price
Alright, so our fortnightly payments are going to be this. Alright, so we're going to have this on top. Because we're going to divide that by the number of repayments. Now it's 3 years and fortnightly payments. How many fortnights are there in a year?
52. No, that's weeks.
26.
26. So we're going to have 3 lots of 26.
26.
Right?
78.
3 lots of 26.
78.
So just type that straight into your calculator now.
78.
What, $78 a fortnight? Yeah, don't need to, you just need to know that there's 3 years worth of 26. So you need to worry about it. You don't need to go any further than that.
Oh, right.
Yeah? So what are my fortnightly repayments?
42.68.
42.68. Alright, again, 2 decimal places, because you should have gotten something like 42.677 whatever.
Is that
So
it?
42.68 is the fortnightly repayments. That's it.